Stories you get from other motorcycle riders. Now, I can't remember quite if I mentioned this previously, but whoop, don't mount your bike from the right hand side, always do it from the left. Oh, you've turned the bike on as well. How many times have I done that in a video? Too many. The stories that you get from other motorcycle riders are, in my opinion, my biased opinion at that as well, some of the best stories you can get, because they'll detail some of like the intense times, sometimes the crazy times, the good times, the bad times. And that ranges from everything from people dying unfortunately, or being silly on the bike, or someone did a stunt which was pretty cool and pulled it off in front of a crowd or something, or they just went out for a long ride and it was great, it was relaxing, or you go on a ride for a holiday. Your holiday is a long motorcycle ride. And a while back I got talking to a fellow almost a year ago now, which is scary when you think about it, isn't it? He had lost his wife and he needed something to keep himself busy, to keep himself I want to go down there, it's alright, don't worry, you're fine, to keep himself occupied, let's say. And in order to keep his mind off things and to keep busy doing various stuff, he decided to take up motorcycling, and he purchased himself a Vulcan S. I can't quite remember his reason for doing so, but it was probably along the lines of it's a reliable bike, it looks good, and he had modded the crap out of it. Now, when I saw him a few months ago, about a month ago at the time of recording, he was also at the local bike show, and I had a chat with him there. He's a good lad. I didn't even recognise him, but he recognised me, or at least his friend did. And then he recognised me, and then I recognised him. So I asked him, because he was at a stand next to like a local biker group, little rally thing, and I asked him if that was his Vulcan S, and he said no, but he used to own one. So he's since moved on to a larger bike, an adventure bike, I believe. And good on him, can't fault him for that. But the amount of modifications he'd done to this Vulcan S before he let it go, I mean, it wasn't like extravagant, but it was still a fair bit, enough to obviously make it yours, to make it personalised so much. And I think he had a mount on there for his phone, a bit of this, a bit of that, he'd done a decent job on it as well, and it looked the absolute nuts. Why am I in fourth gear? Let's bring that down to third. Yummy. So when I met him at the bike show again, he said, yeah, he's moved on to bigger bikes and all that sort of stuff. And back to the original point, he has come from such a downward spiral, or what could be considered such a downward spiral, which is, losing a loved one, losing someone who's that close to you. And you could tell he genuinely cared about his wife, the expressions which he was making on his face, the happy memories he's got of her as well and such. And I'm absolutely blown away by it, and I'm blown away by his, twisted maybe, but it does make a lot of sense that he chose to ride a motorcycle to remember his wife. I think actually one of the reasons was they used to ride together, and then they stopped, they got a car, so he jumped back on a motorcycle to sort of remember those times and such. And it just tugs at the heartstrings. And I absolutely love talking to other riders, talking about their experiences, where they've been, roads they can recommend, local or not. And it's how can I say it? It's such a loving community, this biker thing. The way that we wave or nod at each other depending where you are and what you do, who you are. And it's obviously a community, people involved, and some people are not very nice. Where was I? Yeah, so it's just one of those things. I absolutely love going to places where there's a bunch of bikers or there's a group of people there with bikes and so on and so forth, and all walks of life, all backgrounds and such. If you ride a motorcycle, good on you. I'm not going to say the same for the lads that ride around in London causing trouble, because that's not a biker thing, that's just being a dick, and quite frankly we can do less of that. Don't think I've been down here before. Interesting. This is like how to put it, this is old-timey Britain sort of thing, out in the countryside. And so my question to you on that subject, as usual, because I have to bring it round to something motorcycle related, or I have to ask you a question as well. What's a story that you've got? What's a story that someone's told you that's believable anyway? You know, we do like to exaggerate sometimes, all of us, and I can't blame people for trying it. But sometimes you hear a story that's just quite, it's a little bit much in it. Right, I want to scoot right over here. There we go. Bit tight down this country lane, innit? Can't imagine driving a car down here. Oh, it's mental enough on a motorcycle. Thatch roof as well, lovely. Look at this. This is wonderful, isn't it? Tall trees, the winding road. Yeah, I saw you coming, thank you. Always give people a little wave down here. Or I try to if it's safe to. I feel myself entering a Bob Ross moment here, just admiring all the things. All the happy little trees. The little country roads, they lead you anywhere. Where'd you want to go? Doesn't matter. You go where the road takes you. And the road has so many stories to tell. Who knows what these roads have seen over their years of being here. The people, the animals, the weather, the changing times. Just like these old buildings. Every road's got to start somewhere. So pick one. Pick one and take it. Oh, it's too Bob Rossy now, isn't it? Oh, tingles. I would admit I've been watching a lot of Bob Ross while I've been painting recently, and it's so relaxing, it's so nice, and it's obviously wonderful when people come back to these videos, they check them out, bumpy, hello, and they leave like a nice little comment, something like, oh, you're so relaxing, you're so soothing, and I try to be, you know, I try to be. Each to their own and such. Not everyone likes the calm and collected motorcycle rider, if you can call me collected. But you know, some people like to watch these videos as a way to de-stress, to calm down. Other people like to watch these videos because they're genuinely interested in the Vulcan S, which is great. Other people come back for me. Don't know why you'd do that, but you know. And on that subject as well, I want to just say that I finally got this camera sorted out. So as of the moment, I have put the GoPro Session down, because that used to be right in front of me here. And as much as I like having it, it's not interchangeable batteries, so you are limited to a single charge, which is a bit of a pain. But it's not too bad when it runs out of life, because I've still got the helmet camera, that's the main one, and then the additional camera down here by my right foot, so that's always nice. But I thought, as I've mentioned before, that I wanted the same sort of camera angle that I had on the Harley, and I know this isn't the same, but screw it, it's let's go this way. There you In a nice way, of course. We're not aggressive. Much. Smiley face. So this is just a nice way to get that camera angle back. And I'm not entirely sure if this thing is actually moving as I'm riding it. It does look like it's a bit... there's the words again. Every episode. Every weekend we do this. But yeah, as I've been riding, it does seem like it's tilted ever so slightly. Or perhaps I've not set it up properly when I had a test subject sit on the bike while I set the camera up. Because it's always easy with two people. That was silly. That was... wow. Do you open your door in traffic often, my dear? Bit rude, isn't it, of me? Whoops. Never mind. Always check your mirrors before you open your doors. That much is common sense. I feel like I've been here before, but maybe I have. This does seem awfully familiar. I remember there's a local, hey, Gig Lane. Yeah, I've been down there before. I remember that. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking of. So you've got this pub here, the Duke's, which is a lovely pub. Been in there a few times. And then you've got this one here. This is no way a plug, mind you. Right, I'm not doing this advertisement for free. I do it for nothing. Axe and Compass. They have the best pies. I am not a puff pastry. I'm not a pie crust lover, no matter what you make it out of. But these guys, when they make a pie, they fill it. And I mean, that pie is full. And they do not screw around when it comes to pies. I've been to a few pub chains which have supplied pies in a bowl, and they put a crust on top. That's nice. Get through that crust, get through some of the filling. Yummy yummy. Guess what? No pie around the sides of the bowl. What's that? That's not a pie. That's filling with a top. It's not a real pie. Bit of a random thing to end the video on, really, isn't it? Huzzah! Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there. Have yourselves a lovely weekend. Let me know if you like the new camera angle as well. I'm taking a liking to it because you can also see behind me as well, depending if my arm's in the way or not. But now when someone starts hanging up my backside, you'll be able to see it. Rather than take my word for it, because I know the camera on the helmet doesn't really pick up the angle of the mirrors all that well. Unless I adjust the mirrors ever so slightly, but I've got them set up where I can see what I need to. So yes, have yourselves a lovely weekend, enjoy, and I've no doubt we should be doing this again sometime soon. Ta for now.